And now, ladies and gentlemen,
Put your thumbs up and say it's Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo, Tickety Boo, everything's Tickety Boo.
Tickety Boo, son. Tickety Boo.
Welcome back to Tickety Boo. I'm Andy and I'm here with Iona and Ian, and today a little warning for you, this one might get a little close to home. We're going to talk about the secrets, not the secrets we keep from other people, but the ones we keep from ourselves, the quiet deals we make to stay comfortable in situations we've already outgrown. Those little stories we tell ourselves where we stay, where we are, the job is fine, the relationship's not that bad, the life we keep meaning to change after the summer, after Christmas, after things settle down is not as bad as we think it really is. Before we get into it though, guys, it'd be really good just to acknowledge that, we've sat here now over 100 times, 100 plus times, and put ourselves out there and shared and engaged and shown up, and I just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you for having us.
A big acknowledgement. Without you guys, it wouldn't really be possible. So, great acknowledgement, and thank you for those that continue to listen. I'm sure some of you are probably sick of the sound of our voices, but here we are with another episode, so you're getting more of it. These secrets I was talking about, I refer to them as survival lies. And what I mean by that is, we all have them. Yeah, I will do this then. I just need that to happen. Or, when I get to this point, then I'll do that. I think all of us can recognise a version of that in ourselves. And if I'm honest, there has been times in my life where that survival lie has actually turned into a survival decade.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, we've probably got different versions. I'm going to go to you first.
Oh, great. I'm going to go.
Me and Ian can just sit over and chill for a bit. But the reason I want to come to you first is because we're kind of like two peas in a pod. And you could tend to come from a different angle. So I'd be really interested to hear your version of the little secrets you keep from yourselves.
Little secrets.
Or the little lies you tell yourself in your head that you'll do this, when, how, whatever.
I actually find this topic really hard because I was racking my brains when we knew that we were going to be talking about this, and I couldn't think of anything initially because, there's the things I'll be happier when, like that's different. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about that in other episodes. I think I've been honestly really clear with myself on this because honesty is like my top value, and I'm sure I have told myself little survival lies to get myself somewhere, but I mean I even know.
Do you need some help here?
Oh yeah, you're gonna pull me on it. Here we go.
I know from conversations I've had with you that you've stayed inside of things or doing things longer than you've wanted to.
Yeah. But that's something I've recognised now. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so in that way, when you frame it like that, I'm now really clear about things that I won't stay doing anymore.
Okay.
Because I have learned that that's when I end up getting overwhelmed, I get tired. I am doing things, whether it's projects I'm involved in, relationships, whatever it is, I recognize the signs when I feel like I'm out of alignment. And because honesty is so is my top value, I am willing to have those conversations, those hard conversations really quickly now.
Okay. So how did you do that?
Have the difficult
No.
No.
How did you get from that point of I'm staying inside or doing?
Because I started suffering.
Okay, so you recognise you started suffering, and that suffering went on for a period of time. What was the tipping point where you went, I'm now going to take action? Was it when you just had enough of suffering, or?
Enough of suffering. So I recognised the pattern over the decades where when I'm in those situations and I would stay longer, and looking back, my body would actually react. I get ear infections, I hurt my back. There's all these things that will actually happen. And now I'm and I've had one recently. And a really good friend of mine, she said, Iona, you're going to need to have that conversation, because I was confiding in her. And I was like, because she said, you know what happens every time you don't. So because I've got the pattern when I look back, and I can see that it's the damage I do to myself unconsciously, and how my body responds, that I don't want that anymore. I don't need to have the ear infection or be flatter on my back. And so it's been, but I'm in my 50s, so it's taken me a long time to learn these lessons, but it's self-preservation. And I know it's easier to have the hard conversation and move on than it is to go through the murkiness and be stuck in it, and then suffer and have to work through things when you've got the ear infection, when you've got the bad back, and all those things.
So for you, it was your physical health that became a non-negotiable in these situations.
That was my red flag.
Okay, Ian.
I've got a few, but I'm not going to... I'm going to try and avoid the work-related ones. So one of the ones, and I'm going to be honest, I'll be a bit vulnerable. I'm going to go to one of the ones that actually has the biggest impact on me. And what it is my boundaries are not negotiable. It's not a lie, it's one of my fundamental beliefs, but at times and with certain people, I allow them to be pushed. And then what happens is, because I'm telling I tell myself my boundaries are non-negotiable.
But
then I allow somebody to push them, which then has a knock-on effect to my self-respect, frustration, and that's not cool at all. So that's probably the most destructive lie I've told. I am pretty strong on that now, but it has. Well, that's something else I'm telling myself now to stop me having to deal with the particularly difficult issues of people pushing my boundaries.
Here we go. Lying live on
I
air.
just did it like, oh no, caught out. But that's been one of the most painful ones for me, where some other part of me that was, averse to conflict or whatever, or allowed certain people to manipulate or have a power over me. I don't know why. But that I'd allow them to push these boundaries that I've always told myself are non-negotiable. And that, me personally, is quite self-destructive. So
yeah, I'm the same. I think for me, I would either say to myself, I just need to get through this phase or this chapter, and then I'll do something, which it was just delaying it. Or I'd be like, don't rock the boat, keep the boat steady. But I'm at a point in my life now where I'm ready to torpedo the boat. Because I'm telling you now, that boat is carrying people and things that take more away from me than serve me now. And, for me it was, don't rock it, keep the status quo, keep things as they are. Your well-being, how you are a later priority. We'll get to that later.
It reminds me of, I can't remember who said this, but it's about who would you choose to have in your lifeboat? Like, who will you have in your boat? So you want to torpedo that boat, get rid of it, and just have the people that support you. That is, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think my boat was more of a cruise liner.
That's a big boat.
And everyone was at the, all-you-could-eat buffet and enjoying the free bar. And I was kind of picking up the tab, but not in a financial way. I was carrying the weight of that tab. Does that kind of make sense to you? And I would silently resent that, but I would never communicate it or do anything to change it. So I kept doing the thing, I will sort things out later, just not now. Rather than going, this is not working for me anymore. I was really good at dressing it up well, just get through the busy patch, but none of it was working for me anymore.
No, and that's because you're a bit like me. You're naturally a fixer. So one of the other lies I would tell myself is, if I just fix their stuff, it will be better for everybody. They'll be okay. No, all you do is you just stop them from learning the lesson, and that lie that I tell myself is no good for them.
Do you think, like when you were fixing their stuff, do you think part of you went, because when I do that, they'll step into line and help sort out the stuff that I kind of resent? Like, they'll start to behave in a way that makes me not have to have a conversation or do something.
Yeah, that is true. But this is the thing about where people with that trait, though they, in their own head, they are telling you, you're telling yourself and lying to yourself to say, I am doing this for this person. You're not. You're actually doing it in quite a manipulative, or there's a level of manipulation there that it's you bringing people on board and feeding your own needs, and maybe. But you tell your lie, this lie, that you're doing it for them to make you feel better about what you're doing, but it's actually a little bit manipulative and a little bit dishonest.
Yeah, I call it mental gymnastics, where I'm flip-flopping between narratives to generally make, well, if I'm being brutally honest, I'm doing mental gymnastics because I don't have to face the issue.
Yes.
The real issue, which is I need to speak an uncomfortable truth. I need to take action. I need to
Come
do
into
what's
my boat
right.
and have brutal honesty.
I want to get off the QE2 and get in your dinghy. But I know we're kind of speaking metaphorically, but you get what I mean. It's like I wasn't speaking my truth because I knew things weren't lining up. But it is, don't rock that boat.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's fairly happy-ish on that boat.
Well, yeah.
Well, and you've both shared too with that don't rock the boat. It's that people pleasing, like just making sure, keeping it safe, like preventing any disasters happening rather than taking care of
Well, do you know what?
yourself.
No, it's not just that. It was actually, like, I'd go split personality, and one version of me goes, I absolutely hate this, I've had enough. And then another part of me goes, it's not actually that bad.
Yeah, I'm not coming into your boat.
The voice in my head would go, come on, Andy, you know it's not that bad. And I'd spend a lot of time convincing myself that things that were awful weren't awful. And that was really just putting off taking action. Please tell me I'm not the only person that does this.
No, you're not. No, you're 100% right. And, you know, it's for a number of reasons. Sometimes I'm very aware of the fact that my truth isn't necessarily the truth, and it's going to come with resistance. Sometimes when I'm at that point, I'm lacking in capacity to deal with it. So you might say, I'm lacking in capacity at the moment, I'll sort it when things calm down. That's my classic, that is.
I think the other one is, I mean, look how far I've come. I can't just leave it now.
Yeah, that's a big one.
In that, if I do that, you know, I'm just letting go of everything I've built or established.
But that's who I am.
Well, that's the identity we've created. You know, we've
There's
created.
that's a big lie that I hear clients say. It's the time they've put into something, but they might use the excuse of what the time they put into it and what they've built.
Yeah.
And that's who they are, and who will I be? Well, actually, it's not the thing they want to do anymore, and they're stuck in it, and they're convincing themselves, no, but I've put all this. They've put all this time, they've put all this energy, all this effort.
I'll tell you, there's in my other business, in my events business, there was one particular event we would do once a year, and it was a killer. We would do about 18 hours solid.
Oh wow!
It was insane, and there was a year when I went, I can't do this anymore. Even if mentally I want to do it, physically I can't do it anymore. We were on that particular event, and we had about an hour to go, and we were loading all the gear out. And this hotel has like a really big goods lift. So like you can get like a van in it, and it takes all the kit downstairs. And I'm like, an hour, it'll be down in the lift and in the van. And part of me went, okay, we can do that extra hour. We got to the goods lift and it broke. And the reality is when that breaks, there's a tiny lift that is about 20 lift fulls, which in reality probably meant about another 2.5 hours. And then part of me went, I'm done. That is now it for me, because I'm going to be home at 7 o'clock in the morning now. That's it, game over. Guess where I was the next year?
Oh,
Doing exactly the same thing again. Stood in the same room on the same spot where I went, I'm pretty sure last year I said to myself, I'm not doing this again. that was a couple of years ago. But it's quite easy to fall into that trap of repeating the same things.
When you're in that situation, you've recognized, here I am doing that thing again.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
Oh, totally pissed off, resentful, angry, frustrated, tired, sorry for myself, hating myself, disappointed. Yeah, a whole range of those emotions. Do you know what the problem was? I wasn't specific enough. So when I said, I'm not doing this anymore, I then didn't follow up quite quickly with, okay, how does that happen then?
Yeah.
What do I need to do? I just went, right, I've got another year before I need to figure that out. And before you know it, that anniversary comes round.
What do I replace that with?
Yeah, I think this is really valuable for our listeners.
Yeah. I actually needed to go. I needed not in that moment. What actually happened was, after the second time it had happened, no, it's about the 400th time it had actually happened, but I sat down and went, you keep saying this, but you don't do anything about it. What needs to be done? And I actually looked at it on paper and I went, see these 2 jobs that we do there? If we just do that and we do that, it actually replaces that.
Yeah.
And just, I massively overcomplicated the process of getting me out of
And
the
we've
situation.
talked about that before, and I think these are such valuable pointers for our viewers and our listeners when they're in this pattern, when they see them.
Yeah.
And yes, maybe they catch themselves doing it again and they're beating up on themselves, feeling as you've just expressed. And so then you get to learn from this, okay, so how can I exit? What do I replace it
You've
with?
got to be really specific.
And give yourselves a plan.
And there's got to be a plan. Like, we were talking on previous episodes, like, I'm going to get fit. Okay, how often are you going to the gym? What are you doing? Who you're going with? What time you're going? What days you're going? Because that is where it all falls apart. I wasn't specific enough. So I had to create a plan and start to instigate the plan. I lost years to thinking about executing and not executing, and I was trapped in something that was making me really miserable, but it was familiar. I was trapped in that I'll do something about it later.
And later comes around and here you are.
It was 10 years. 10 years I did that same thing on repeat. That's an insane amount of time.
Yeah.
Now, it's happened, but it didn't need to be like that.
Yeah.
There's been collateral damage in the delay of the decision. I ended up suffering, so we have to be honest with ourselves that the lies and the secrets we're keeping from ourselves. And to be honest, the underlying reason I didn't make it was that I thought I was blowing my life up. By not doing that, I was being irresponsible. I'd lose money. I'd go out of business. People would have a problem with it.
Yeah.
So it was outward perception.
See, and just think, if you hadn't realised that, let that go, we probably wouldn't be sat here like over 100 episodes later. Sometimes we need to let go of what we're doing to make space for something more, something else.
Well, yeah, I needed to go, look, there's a story I'm carrying here and it's all about making myself more comfortable. What's the real fear? And look at it honestly and do something about it. And sometimes you don't have the answer straight away, I think, but, you've got to commit to, I'm not doing this anymore. Great. That's there now in flashing neon lights. What are you going to do instead? Yeah. Or what are you not going to do for yourself? That is the, that's the thing here. Because I think these kind of conversations do stir things up in people, don't they? Because we get so busy in this stuff and then we pretend that's life.
Yeah.
Or we're doing life.
Well, it's the reality that we're creating for ourselves.
It's like a Monty Python film.
Yeah, and we're not whinging. We're not coming from a place of whinging. We're coming from a place of going like, I don't know how to get out of this jail cell that I've created for myself. I'm looking through the bars. And it's like the door was never locked. To just push it and walk out.
Yeah.
That kind of makes sense.
Resonates massively with me at the moment.
Huge, yeah, with me as well. And by the way, I am not anywhere near where I need. I'm 100% better, but I've still got some way to go. But I think the people that come into the therapy room, a lot of them are trapped in this very cycle with stuff that they think they can't influence and control and change, and you absolutely can. but you've got to be brutally honest with yourself. Do you think that's
Yeah.
fair to say?
Very true.
Yes. Come into my honesty boat.
Oh, I have got another lie that I tell myself.
Go on.
This one's a belter.
What?
It's not my fault.
Oh yeah, so yeah, I don't want to take personal responsibility for this.
And in reality, the actual reality of that is, I enabled that. I played my part in this by enabling it to happen. So there is an element of responsibility for this. And it didn't just happen. I enabled it to happen. But it's not my fault just strips me of all accountability for the situation, which is the biggest way to steal the lesson from the situation.
Yeah, because in reality, the only person who can really fix the problem is you.
Yep.
You're the only person that can do anything about it.
So if a situation keeps coming and visiting you and it's never your fault, well, maybe it's time to think, why do I keep putting myself in the same place?
Maybe we should start up a T-shirt brand. Maybe I'm the problem. Question mark.
I want to wear the one that not my circus, not my monkeys.
Not my boat.
Yeah, not my boat.
All right. Well, listen, thanks ever so much for listening to this episode, and we look forward to catching up with you in the next episode of Tickety Boo.
Before we go, if you're going through something right now, please do talk to somebody. A friend, a family member, anyone you trust. And if you need a bit more support, contact your GP or NHS 24 on 111 or the Samaritans on 116123. They are always at the end of a phone, or alternatively, visit the Peace of Mind website. Links are in the episode description. You are not alone in this. Take care of yourselves. Catch you in the next episode.